Welcome to the Hello Lovely podcast. I'm your host, Christie Williams, and I teach women how to be themselves. As an exclusive life coach for women, I'll teach you how to manage anxiety, make decisions you're confident in, and stop beating yourself up. So let's get started. Hello, ladies. My goodness, I am feeling so powerful today. So powerful right in this moment. So I am psyched to jump into this topic of choose powerful thoughts, because the reason I feel so powerful is because I'm thinking some pretty powerful things. So I was thinking about you a lot this weekend and just feeling so full and whole and content and sufficient, satisfied, love. I was feeling so many beautiful, wonderful emotions, and I want you to feel those emotions as much as possible. I want you to feel and soak those in. So I thought if I wanted to replicate this for someone in instructions, like to be able to explain it in a way where you could try it on for yourself, what would that basic formula be? And two things stood out. One is choose powerful thoughts, and two is soak in the goodness. So on today's episode, I'm going to explain what both of those mean. So get ready. As you listen, I want you to really try this on and practice using these tools in your tool belt as much as possible. We tend to focus towards what's not working. That's just where our human imperfect brain goes right now. Not a problem. But that's why we feel we're not good enough. Or we think we feel good enough when we're actually just thinking we're not good enough. Our brain has all the reasons. It's going to give you all the reasons to support why that's true. And it tries to make a legit case. And what I want you to do from this episode is challenge your brain and try these two tools on as much as possible so you can feel powerful and you can feel sufficient and content and calm. So this episode is to really reset yourself intentionally so you can feel powerful. So what does powerful feel like? Such a good question. I want you to pause and define this for yourself and notice exactly what your body feels like when you feel powerful. And if you haven't felt powerful in a while, I want you to imagine or reflect on the last time you did. So for me, powerful feels very familiar because I'm actually feeling it right now. And those characteristics are clear, wide head, like my brain feels very light. My eyeballs feel very light and open. I feel like I'm very creative right now, very future focused with full possibilities. And it's almost like my arms, like whatever's happening in my arms, like through my nerves, in the emotion of powerful are like swelling up like muscles. Like I almost feel like my biceps are Popeye arms. That's what powerful feels like. Isn't that cool? And I know it sounds funny, but when you feel your emotions in that way, you get to log them. And why that's valuable is because right now our brains have certain definitions for what emotions mean. What this emotion means when I'm feeling it. And what you get to do is you get to show your brain a new definition. You get to rewrite it because emotions are physical characteristics. Emotions are a result of what you think and you feel. That's why we call them feelings, physical characteristics for each one. So when you take the time to step back and notice what those physical characteristics are, you get very in touch with your emotions. So you don't really ever have to ask yourself, what am I feeling? Or I don't know what I'm feeling. You get very in touch with that. And that comes from what I just shared with you. So test it out. It's powerful. And because this is a powerful episode, why not have some fun with that? When you feel powerful, you take powerful action. That just is the result that follows. And when you feel powerful, you make decisions from a clean, clear place. When you feel powerful, you don't criticize yourself or others. Like it's just not on the radar. You're fully present in the moment, and it's the opposite of feeling stuck. So since it feels so great to feel powerful, how do you feel powerful more often? Here's a secret. It's not your circumstance. Feeling powerful comes from choosing powerful thoughts. That's it. Episode done. No, but really, that's how you feel powerful as an emotion, which is good to know because our emotions drive our actions. So when you can think powerful thoughts, you will feel powerful and take powerful actions from a powerful place. That will create very different results than feeling stuck or indecisive and then making a decision. You see the difference? So the decision that you're making is a decision, but how you feel as an emotion before you take the action of making a decision will change your entire experience and the results you create. So how do you think powerful thoughts? You get to choose to think whatever you want. What? Isn't that funny? Like, we're shocked by this. But that's what our brains are. They are thinking machines. And your prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain where you get to choose any stinking thought that you want. And what we tend to do on default is think disempowering thoughts that come up automatically. So we think so many thoughts, thousands and thousands a day, and a lot of them are just moot, if you will. A lot of them are just options your default brain, the part of your brain that's just keeping you alive, is just throwing up as options. Because as a human, if you're not thinking, you're not doing anything. So your brain is constantly offering you options so you're not just sitting like a vegetable. But our brain automatically tends to pump out those disempowering thoughts. And it's just so used to it. Like, those are just the automatic ones it's offered before. Your brain doesn't know it's not working. That's where you get to step in and decide intentionally with your prefrontal cortex and say, whoa, this is a thought that my brain's been offering up. Am I going to keep thinking this? Like, do I want to keep using this? And these are some of those ones, right? We're going to bust them wide open right now. I'm not good enough. Busted. Here's another one. This will never happen. Busted. Something's wrong with me. They're better than me. It's always going to be this way. Busted, busted, busted. You're busted, brain. Because think about it, like, if I were just to read that list without busting them, how do you feel after that? I'm not good enough. This will never happen. Something's wrong with me. They're better than me. It's always going to be this way. Disempowering, right? What are the opposite alternatives to those? It can be hard to think of empowering thoughts for ourselves, but we're going to do a little brain hack here. When you want to say something empowering to your bestie, it's almost like those thoughts just flow out like a waterfall. We have all of this advice and encouragement and cheerleading. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to think about what you would say to empower your bestie and write those down. I want you to think about what you would tell her about her beauty, her resilience, her ability. Like, picture her in mind. I want you to grab your bestie in your imagination and think about what you would tell her about her beauty, her resilience, her ability, and her accomplishments. And write those down. And then you get to choose those powerful thoughts for yourself. You know it's good advice because you just offered it to your bestie. But there is a difference in when we are contributing information intentionally like that, like when we are creating encouragement as an action to give as a gift to a bestie. You are using very intentional thoughts. Those are the ones that we don't normally receive to ourselves. So you get to do this brain hack, which is very powerful, and change those thoughts back to yourself and read them as if you were receiving them intentionally. This is where you intentionally take your own advice, right? Because all the time we're like, why don't I just take my advice? Why don't I just take my advice? It's because when you were sharing those encouraging, powerful thoughts with her, you were not receiving that information. You were teaching, you were giving a gift, you were giving information. So your brain was not open, receiving it, listening to advice. It was sharing intentional thoughts. What you get to do, which is super powerful, y'all, thanks to our creator for this amazing brain, anytime you want, you can intentionally take those powerful thoughts and receive them for yourself. You read them in a way to say, this is what I'm choosing to accept. This is what I'm choosing to think right now on purpose. Anytime. And the life that we live is one moment at a time. This moment right here, this is the moment you're living. You're not living your past. You're not living your future. You are living right now. So sometimes we get stuck on, like, what am I going to do 2 weeks from now when I'm not feeling it? We don't even have to worry about that, because in that moment, 2 weeks from now, you get to think a powerful thought. We live one moment at a time, and we always get to choose what we want to think in that moment. Make it something powerful. And it doesn't mean you feel happy all the time, because that's not what life is about. We're going to have a combination of emotions, and that's what makes us a human. And you get to choose powerful thoughts in every emotion, in every moment. So even when you catch yourself thinking one of those automatic default thoughts that is not feeling powerful, in that moment, you can choose to say, I'm choosing a powerful thought here. Just to redirect my brain. That is your gift as a human. The brain is a thought machine, so you can think any combination of words you want that fuel you. And just because we're used to the default ones where we put ourselves down, it doesn't mean we have to keep choosing them. And it doesn't even mean they're true. It doesn't even mean they're real, that we stink. Those are 2 words. I stink. And you get to drop those like a hot potato. We don't need a permission slip to think a powerful thought. And if you do, here you go. I'm giving it to you right now. Permission! You can change the dialogue in your head and have supportive friendship with yourself. And when you do, you will absolutely see that overflow into all other areas of your life, all your other relationships, all your other activities. And that's because your relationship with yourself, it's a filter for everything else you do. The thoughts about yourself are the very first thoughts in your subconscious brain. And all the other thoughts that you're choosing on default are coming through that filter. So let's choose some powerful thoughts that you can use whenever you want, intentionally, in any moment. Whoosh! Right out of your tool belt, baby. Okay. These are some of mine, and you are so welcome to borrow them. Okay, here we go. I figure things out. It's going to be better than I imagine. I have everything I need in this moment. I can choose my thoughts. I'm accomplished. I love being generous. I love helping people. And here's a thought that has been a powerhouse for me over the last week. My thoughts are more powerful than my results. Boom! Drop the podcast mic. Right? How do you feel after trying on that list of powerful thoughts? Those are just a few. So write your own list. And if it feels hard to put I in there at first, that happens sometimes in the beginning, right? Because right now, if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't done this work before, you're thinking I through the filter of your current relationship with yourself. So always got a hack for you in the tool belt. The way to hack that is when you're trying on new thoughts that you want to feel powerful and the I is tripping you up, try she. Try you, right? So you figure things out. It's going to be better than you imagine. You have everything you need in this moment. You can choose your thoughts. You're accomplished. You love being generous and you love helping people. You love it. Okay, do you see that? You see that brain hack? Use it. That is a gift to yourself. So now that you have your list, how do you apply the second part of this powerful recipe? Soak in all the goodness. That was step 2. Okay, so I kind of gave you a glimpse of this when I described powerful for me in my Popeye arms at the beginning of this episode. But I want to take an emotion that we're usually not super excited about feeling, because that's an area where there's been focus before, okay? Sometimes we don't put a lot of focus on our positive emotions, and that's what soaking in all the goodness is all about. So, you know how it feels to be anxious and put a lot of attention on that? Like when you put your focus there and you start questioning, why are you feeling this? And what are you going to do? And all of that. What if you did that focus for your positive emotion? Every time you feel powerful, joy, sufficient, peace, calm, relief, all of them. You spent time focusing on how that feels. How juicy goodness. And soak it in. Soak it in like a sponge and feel it. Feel how good that feels and where exactly you're feeling it in the body. Remember how I did with the Popeye arms? I told you that my eyes were clear, my head was clear, my arms felt swollen. That's how powerful feels for me. When I soak it in like a sponge, when I soak in the goodness, I absorb it as if it's a cozy sweater. I feel it as if I'm feeling heat off of a delicious fire outside. You are soaking in your emotion the same way. And emotions, they're just 50-50, right? We got part positive, part negative. You are just like a battery. And sometimes we want to look at our negative and we want to smash them down. We want to be like, eliminate. But if you eliminate the negative part of a battery, guess what? It doesn't work. So we're going through life trying to like cut out the negative of our battery. That's why it feels like it's not working. Because you need both. It's part of your human design. Part positive, part negative. And when we look at a battery, we're not like stupid negative side. The one question we have about the battery is not the positive or the negative. It's is this charged? If it's charged, there's no question. And you're going to pop it in and it's going to fuel what you're powering, okay? So soaking in all the goodness means you spend time feeling your emotions. And you can do this with your negative emotions too, but for this particular recipe of feeling powerful, I want you to spend time feeling your positive emotion too. Our initial response now may be excitement that we feel good, and then we go and run and tell someone how great we feel. We share how happy we are. We might buy something. We might make decisions. All of those are good things, like not a problem, super fun. But we miss the juicy goodness of how that positive emotion feels in our body. So picture the warmth of a cozy bonfire on a cold day outside, and you are so excited about the fire that you're running around telling everybody how great it is. You miss the warmth of the fire, right? So you can do both. You can share how great you feel and you can soak in the goodness, okay, of how that feels. So I want you to try that on. I want you to try on your positive emotions like a cozy sweater. Soak them in. And the next time you feel powerful, which should be soon because you're going to write out your list and I gave you some thoughts to clone, soak in the goodness of how that feels. Notice where you feel it in your body. Do you feel warm, tingly, clear? Popeye arms. What is it? Soak it in like a sponge and spend even just a couple minutes there. You'll become more balanced emotionally because the more you practice this, the more you'll be paying attention to your body, which is basically half of your life. You have two main areas of your experience, your brain and your body. Let your brain do the thinking intentionally. Choose intentional, powerful thoughts and let your body feel, right? You got to be there for both to have a balanced life. Your body's going to be feeling without you. and your brain is going to be thinking without you. And when you intentionally put focus on both of those to have an intentional experience, you will live a life you love and you will make confident decisions. You will have an amazing relationship with yourself, because when you pay attention to your bestie's thoughts and you pay attention to how your bestie feels, you have a tight bond. And that's the same kind of relationship that you get to create with yourself. When you soak in the goodness, which is step 2, you get to celebrate how great those positive emotions feel. So when you're feeling the other 50%, the negative part of your battery, they don't seem overwhelming. Because now you know how to feel them. You can apply that same practice to the negative emotion, and you can choose to think a powerful thought. So try that on. Choose powerful thoughts and soak in the goodness. That is the recipe to feel powerful. I want to hear all about it when you do this. So tag me on Insta, Miss Christie Williams, and share your powerful thoughts. Share with me what it felt like when you soaked in the goodness of your emotions. I cannot wait to hear it. And women benefit so much from things like this when you share them. And that is my goal in my business as a CEO, is to help you in your journey of emotions and choosing powerful thoughts and creating the exact results you want, and generationally. So every woman that we help, you go out there and you start feeling your emotions and feeling confident, making powerful decisions and thoughts, you're impacting the women around you. So when you share how powerful you feel and you share your experience, that gives a glimpse of juicy goodness to someone else, another woman. And right now, in a world where we put each other down to feel better about ourselves, that we get to do the opposite. You get to support yourself first. So all you want to do is support other women. So in this lovely life of yours, that's what I want you to feel: powerful and balanced in your emotions and thoughts. You get to choose both of those. Share this podcast with her. Any of the women that popped up in your brain that you were like, oh my gosh, my bestie, and you thought those great thoughts about her, share this podcast. All the wonderful experiences and powerful thoughts you choose from this podcast, share them with her. Tell her about this. Supporting other women in a world that usually tears each other down, that's powerful. And if you want to take this work deeper and create a better relationship with yourself, go to MissChristieWilliams.com and schedule a consult. And you can work with me one-on-one. All right, you guys, have a fantastic week, feeling powerful, and I'll see you next time. Hey, lovely, if you want to be more confident on the outside, you have to start on the inside. If you don't take time to create an amazing relationship with yourself, it will show up in every other area of your life. If you feel stuck or don't know how to be yourself, I invite you to work with me one-on-one. Go to MissChristieWilliams.com and sign up for a free call to join my 6-month program. That's MissChristieWilliams.com, and I'll see you in session.